But I thought, you know what? If you can't dream big with Disney, what's the point of dreaming? Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you are new here, welcome. So glad that you found your way. Every Monday and Friday, we talk everything lifestyle, and every Wednesday, we do talk everything Disney. Do yourself a favor, click that subscribe button, ring that bell, that way you will not miss another video. So if you are subscribed to me, hello, all of my subscribers, thank you so much for choosing to subscribe and keep returning to my channel. But if you are subscribed to me just solely for the Wednesday Disney content, I do apologize that I have been kind of lacking these past few weeks. So just between us, the last few weeks, I wasn't really in the right mind space to really talk about Disney, and I didn't want anything to feel forced. I'm not exactly sure if you're like this or if it's just me, but I can always tell when I watch someone's YouTube videos and they're putting on an act or they're being really fake, and if that is what they choose to do with their channel, go for it. There is nothing against that. On my channel, I always want it to be like an authentic conversation between me and you, between me and my subscribers. And so yeah, didn't really feel like putting any sort of fakeness on, but I am better now. So thank you for sticking with me and not unsubscribing without having any of that content. Thank you for understanding, and thank you for continuing to support me from here on out. So for today's Disney video, I am going to be sharing with you what my Disney wish list is. So I was going to call it my Disney bucket list, but that sounded really morbid. So these are just things that I would like to do within the realm of Disney at some point in my life. Some of these are really things that I could do eventually, with enough money and with enough time. But some of these are sort of those shoot for the stars, really hope and dream sort of things. But I thought, you know what? If you can't dream big with Disney, what's the point of dreaming? So without further ado, let's get started on my list. So the first thing I think is on every Disney lover, Disney obsessed person's Disney wish list, which is to visit all of the Disney parks. And I have been very fortunate that I have been able to visit multiple times all 4 of the Walt Disney World parks down in Orlando. So that is Disney's Magic Kingdom, Epcot Center, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Disney's Animal Kingdom. I don't know why I just blanked on those 2 last parks. And I've also been fortunate enough to visit Disneyland Paris and the Walt Disney Studios. I think that is what it's called. Let me double check. Yes, the Walt Disney Studios Park, which is linked into Disneyland Paris. But even though I have been to the Paris parks, I would love to go back and just spend a little more time there. Spend a few days to really go and really do and see and photograph everything. So that leaves me Disneyland over in California, the original Walt's Park. Would love to go there, as well as Disney's California Adventure. And overseas, that does leave me Shanghai Disneyland, Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Sea, I think is what it is called, and Hong Kong Disneyland. So I would love it if I could somehow, I have the time and the money to do an one and done sort of trip. That is my dream trip, to start in California, go around, take a flight, do the parks that I have not done, hop over to the Paris parks, do those again, and end my trip with, with a week in Orlando, because why not? That would be wonderful. That is at the top of my wish list, and if there is nothing else on this list that I am able to accomplish in life, that is really what I would like to accomplish. And don't worry, as long as YouTube is still a thing, on any Disney trip that I go on, of course, I will take you along for the ride. The second thing on my Disney wish list is to complete a Run Disney event. If you are new to Run Disney, they are Disney races, kind of like fun run races from what I can see, but you do have to keep a certain time, that are done on Disney property. You can dress up as a character if you would like in a running type sort of costume. But yeah, so they have 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and then full challenges. I think that that would be super fun. What I mean by an event, so events, they have over in Disney World. They will have a Star Wars marathon weekend, or they will have a princess marathon weekend, or a food and wine marathon weekend, or I think it's called the Walt Disney Marathon weekend. I think those are the 4 events. And within that weekend, you have the different races. So ideally, like if this would be a thing that I would really enjoy and really like once I would do the first one, I think that it would be fun to do at least one race in each event. I saw on the website they also do have virtual runs. I attempted a virtual run this summer, but by the time that I got my card out to put in all of my information, and they were all sold out. And I also saw that they did have races in Disneyland Paris. So wherever I would happen to do these races, I just really want to compete in one. And like by no means am I going to win. Like everyone sort of gets like, you completed this, congratulations, like participant medal. Just to do it, I think would be such a fun experience. So number 3 is Walt Disney World centered only, and it is to stay at every Disney resort at least for one night on property. So I thought that I had stayed at a lot of them because I've been to Walt Disney World multiple times. I lived in Orlando, and like my parents and my friends would come visit. I would stay in a room like at least one night with them, even though, you know, I had my apartment, but just to sort of like staycation it up, stayed with them. And yeah, but no. When I looked at the actual list to see how many I had left to stay at, I was shocked, like super shocked. I guess I stay a lot of times at the same places because I'm a huge creature of habit. Whenever I find a hotel and I really like that hotel, I like to stay at it just because like I know the layout. So I will run down for you if you were just wondering what hotels I have stayed at on Disney property. So I have stayed at Bay Lake Tower, Saratoga Springs, Caribbean Beach Resort, Coronado Beach Resort, Pop Century, and then the All-Stars. So All-Star Music, Movies, and Sport. And actually, I have loved them all. I might do a ranking a little later on of the resorts that I have stayed at, which ones I like best in each category. So those are the ones that I've stayed at, and I thought that I had stayed at a lot of them, but in actuality, I have 15 resorts left to stay in. So you know what that means? That just means I gotta book more trips so that I can stay at these places, right? If you have stayed at a Disney resort that I have not named, or even if you've stayed at one of these, which resort did you stay in? Did you love it? Why did you love it? If you did not like it, you can leave that as well, just so, you know, I kind of know what to expect with the resorts. And you can let me know in the comments what your favorite Disney resort is. So number 4 is also just Walt Disney World centered, simply because I have been so many times, so I feel like I can start doing like other things besides just going to the parks, and I will be okay. I would like to start taking behind the scenes tours, and Disney offers a lot of behind the scenes tours at all different price points. Some include meals, some include snacks, some are for all ages, some have an age limit. I would love to take the behind the scenes tour, which is a walking tour on the land, or kind of like behind the scenes of the land ride. The land is actually one of my all-time favorite rides. It takes you through the hydra and aquaponic growing areas of the land, and the ride itself I just find so interesting, so I think that the actual walking tour with more information would be like even more interesting and more in-depth. Speaking of caring for things and hopefully being more in-depth, over in Animal Kingdom they have Caring for Giants, which is all about the care of the elephants on the safari. They also, speaking of the safari, have the Africa Wild Trek. They have it at different points in the day. I think I would like to take the morning one most of all, just because I think that it would be coolish at any point that you go, and I think that the animals would be out a little more if it was cool. But yeah, that one does seem really cool. I have some friends that have done it and have really enjoyed it as well. Hopping back over to Epcot, I would love at the Living Seas. I would love to do one of the diving tours. There's actually 2 diving tours, and one you have to be scuba certified, and I am not. I may eventually in my life become scuba certified, but there's just a basic one that is called the Epcot Seas Adventure Aqua Tours, and you just kind of go, I'm sure it is not like deep scuba diving, but you go scuba diving and you go behind the scenes and you see all of this and that and all of this and that. And I love the Living Seas. I love, like, the ride's cute and all, but that's kind of one of my calm down areas, is just to go and sit and watch the fish, because it's like a really, really big aquarium, pretty much, with a ride inside of it. All right, so also in Epcot, you have the World Showcase Destinations Discovered. I'm sorry. I just said that, by the way, 4 times, and that one was the one that I didn't crack up laughing, because it's written like I said it, destinations. So it's funny, just the way that they write it. But it's pretty much, from what I can gather, it's a walking tour of the World Showcase, where you are taken behind the scenes and you're given background knowledge of each actual pavilion. And the last one, and quite possibly the nerdiest one, I don't know, behind the seeds with hydroponic and aquaponic growing, does seem pretty nerdy, but over at the Magic Kingdom, they do offer the Magic Behind Our Steam Trains tours. And yeah, I love riding the train. I'm pretty sure on my next trip, because Tron is still being built in Tomorrowland, I'm pretty sure I won't be able to ride it. That is okay. I'll be there. That's all that matters. But yeah, I love seeing them. I love photographing them. And I want to know all of the history and the background information and all of the behind the scenes things about the train engines. I will be captivated. Number 6 on my list would actually help me get a little closer to number 1 on my list, and I would love to take a coast-to-coast Disney trip. I have been watching, during this lack of Disney time, I have been watching vlogs on YouTube of people's past Disney trips, and I really love the ones where they go from one coast to the other. So either starting out on Orlando, going to California, or vice versa. And I actually had planned that, like in my head, had planned that to do around, I was going to do that for Easter break, actually, which is usually the week after Easter. So what I was going to do was I was going to fly to, to LAX, but I was going to do Disneyland California Adventure for 2 days, a day per park, and then I was going to fly over to Orlando and spend the rest of my trip there and then fly home. The reason I never actually booked that trip, I mean, thankfully, because it would have been canceled anyway, but over in Anaheim, there were no DVC openings at any of the hotels. They were all booked up till like November, and I didn't really feel like paying for an actual room because they are beyond expensive. So yeah. Number 7 is to take part in a Disney Dapper Day. Disney Dapper Day is not affiliated in any way, shape, or form with the Disney company at all, but Disney's sort of like taken it under its wings, so to speak. And what this is it's different days. They have it over in California as well as in Orlando, different days that are set aside, like they're publicly known, like on the internets. People know about them, and you go to the Magic Kingdom dressed all dapper. So you can Disney bound as a character, you can pick a certain time period to dress in, but you go pretty much like you go dressed up to the parks. And I've seen pictures of it and it just looks adorable. And that's like, I could and anyone could Disney bound whenever they go to the parks, or we could dress up in like a 1940s, 1950s dress, and that's fine, but just to do it with a whole bunch of other people, I think would be really special. So the last 2 are those things that are sort of like really, really shooting for the stars here. But, like I said, one can dream, one can Disney dream. I would love to be a voice of a Disney character. So I would love to be the main character voice, but it seems, I'm not sure if it was always like this and I was just a child and didn't know these people were super famous. It seems now that Disney and other animation studios, their big pull is like with their shows is to have big already like famous people voice their things. I know that there is a very, very solid chance that I would not, since I'm not famous, would not be able to voice the main character, but just a character in general. Supporting character would be fine as well. Person walk like an extra character, that would be really cool, just to be like, yep, that was my voice. Or even singing character, like how sometimes the voice actor doesn't do the actual singing portion, that would be fine too. But just to be like, yep, that's my voice and it's there for all of eternity, would be such a neat concept. And speaking of such a neat concept with the voice, I I would love, like, I would die the happiest person on the planet if somehow at Disney parks I would be like the singer for something, like something recorded. How like the fireworks have singers or the parades have singers, like that. Like I would love to lend my singing voice or my speaking voice, like be a narrator for something and be the absolute coolest thing if I could lend my voice or be a narrator for a Disney show or attraction or ride or like firework nighttime spectacular, as they often say. Yeah, that's like that's sort of like currently at the tip top of my Disney wish list. I could see that happening if I'm going to be honest with you. I could see that happening well before being a voice of a Disney character. But yeah, that would be super fun. Well, anyway, thank you for joining me on my daydreaming Disney wishlist rambling sort of adventure. Let me know in the comments down below what is on your Disney wishlist, or if you want to make a video like this of your own to tell everyone what your Disney wishlist is, let me know in the comments down below as well. That way I can go and check it out and, you know, see what we might have in common. All right, so that is it for me today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell on the way out. It would help me out tremendously. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!